All the legislatures go around. Do you want me to move on? No, the meeting can stay, but. Sorry.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. As you know, public hospitals play such a vital role in our communities, especially in our rural communities and on our neighbor islands. I have personally been involved with the challenges of providing quality health care to the people of Maui County for virtually a decade. Working with the legislators who represent the area in my capacity as chair of the health committee for a number of years, and then working as chair of Ways and Means. I just wanted to start by thanking the legislature, Speaker, Senate President, and all of those in the Maui delegation, specifically and especially, but more importantly, the rest of the members in the legislature for agreeing to be a partner in crafting the legislation that brings us to today, because today truly is a historic event. We do know and have seen the challenges of what is the best way for the state of Hawaii to deliver quality healthcare services to our rural communities. For the last decade especially, we have seen the escalating subsidy required as the entire healthcare system has undergone transformation. Much of that driven by changes to federal regulators, and really driven by many challenges outside the control of us here in the state of Hawaii. I just wanted to acknowledge the legislature for giving us this opportunity to get here to insert competition, vigorous competition into the process of competing to provide healthcare. Know that this process has truly resulted in better opportunities and better services for the people of Maui in that Maui regional system. Today we will be signing the transfer agreement that transfers responsibility of operating and providing health services in the Maui region to a new company. The state will continue to work very closely. It has always been a high priority that we ensure a seamless transition, especially for those employees, and most importantly, the residents of Maui County who count on these facilities for quality health services today and into the future. This agreement maintains local access to affordable, quality health services and ensures that the interests of all Hawaii residents are considered as we move forward. This is the next step in a series of steps that will be required to complete the transaction. We will be begin negotiating with the new company to work out the lease for the real property and facilities. We expect the lease to close on June 30th, and the new company will begin operations on July 1st. So again, I just wanted to close my remarks by just thanking the legislature, first of all, for their trust and belief that working together we could deliver a better bill and most importantly, a better outcome in determining the future of health services for Maui County. I just wanted to acknowledge the Maui Regional Board and the employees at Maui Memorial Hospital for their contributions and their hard work in working through not only the selection process, the challenging of the bidders and proposals, and more importantly, making the best decision on behalf of the people of Maui. And I just wanted to thank my team in the administration for working with all parties involved to get to this point. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Mary Ann Lawrence for your comments.
Aloha. This is a very exciting day. And I want to offer my sincere thank yous to the governor, to all the legislative people that saw the vision and actually what could be different and what could happen, and really advocated strongly for the people of Maui and Lanai for their excellence in healthcare. I'd like to thank Avery Chumley, Chair of the Maui Regional Board, as well as all the other members of the board for, again, their due diligence, their really questioning, getting to the point, and just standing firm for excellent health care for the Maui region. And then I'd like to thank Wes Lowe, CEO, who's among us here, who's actually been just a leader for the Maui Regional Hospital, standing firm for his staff, for the patients and the physicians and the community during this transition that's been going on for several years, and has been so open with his leadership and helpfulness to us as we've come in to do our due diligence. And then I'd like to thank Dr. Linda Rosen, who's the CEO of the Hawaii Health Systems Corporation, in her role over all of the state hospitals. Again, her wisdom, supporting us through the due diligence, and a true partner for us as we go forward in the future. And I think as the governor said, clearly healthcare is provided by people who are committed, who are caring and compassionate. And I would like to thank all of the staff, physicians, community physicians who work in the 3 Maui regional hospitals for their dedication to excellence in care, for the care that they've provided for all of these years. And I'm looking forward, and I know our team is looking forward to learning from them and understanding what's important to them, as well as to the people that they take care of. Kaiser Permanente is very excited about this opportunity and really feel it's an honor that we have been selected and to move forward in partnering with the community of Maui, with the staff, and certainly with the state and the Maui Regional Board to work together and create a model for healthcare that this historic day provides going forward. What I wanted to share with you is our commitment and our vision around care for people in Maui and Lanai. And I would say number one is the patient and the family is number one. And so providing care, setting up care delivery, and people who can provide that is really a compassionate, high quality, and supporting the patients and the people of Maui and the staff with evidence-based practices and systems, state-of-the-art systems that can really support that excellent delivery of care. I would also say our commitment is that the Maui regional hospitals will be community hospitals. They will remain community hospitals. They will be open to all payer types with comparable rates, I want to say that, open to all medical staff, that want to practice at that hospital. So we will remain as a community hospital, and we have a commitment to that for the life of the agreement that's there. You know, people are the heart of healthcare, and our vision and commitment is to really engage and empower the people who are working in those hospitals today, and as well as supporting the community physicians as well. And I heard loud and clear a look towards education, training programs, because we want to keep care on Maui. And in order to achieve that, we will work with the clinicians in the community and work with the staff, the university, all of those areas to make sure that the quality, the capacity, and the high level of skill is available for people on Maui to provide their care. Not only for the people who live in Maui, but we have a large visitor population as well. And then I would say finally that we're really committed to making the investments in the hospitals and the facilities, and really looking towards financial sustainability and giving back any profits and margin to the Maui hospitals. And so that we would continue that commitment that what is on Maui will stay on Maui. So as we look forward, we're excited about this next phase, and we want to look at the strengths of the people and the programs that are there, learn from them, and then bring together what we bring as an organization from Kaiser Permanente to really create total health and improvement of the care delivery on the islands. We've been very fortunate for over 58 years to provide care in the state of Hawaii and 47 years on Maui. And so we're honored with that. We take this on as a really precious step that we're taking, and we will deliver on our commitments and our vision to the people of Maui. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Avery D. Chumley, Chairman of the Maui Regional Board.
Thank you, Governor. I'm surprised you didn't share what the B stands for. You know, it's really nice to be back here today and to be among many of my old colleagues and Governor with you and your state team. You know, this is a butterfly moment. This is what chicken skin is really about, because this is truly a transformational moment for us in the state of Hawaii, not only for healthcare, but possibly for many other things in the way of state services. This transformational moment was created by the legislature last year with the passage and adoption of Act 103. But this wasn't the beginning of the efforts of the Maui Regional Board. Our efforts go back 8 years, 9 years ago, when there were changes allowing for more autonomy at the regional boards under HHSC. At that time, we envisioned a system that allowed a more sustainable, predictable future for healthcare delivery for all of our residents of Maui County, and that includes Lanai and Molokai also. So to get to where we are today is really important, and I think something that's very special. We need to acknowledge the legislature and the Maui delegation and all the members who created that policy that will allow for the discontinuation of medical services, healthcare delivery services for the Maui region. This next step of going to select a private entity to work with in the goals of the regional board was not just to create or to choose an operator. We had two good proposals. We had a proposal from Kaiser and a proposal from HBH. And the regional board struggled with those two proposals. And in the end, Kaiser was selected, and we were very committed to moving forward with them in this transition agreement and creating a comprehensive healthcare delivery system for Maui, Lanai, and Molokai that would take us into the future. The governor's team and the governor then stepped up after the act had passed and gave us an opportunity to have a seat at the table, being the regional board and through Wes Lowe, our CEO. And we appreciate that, Governor, and your team. Everyone did a yeoman's job in getting us to this point. Kaiser demonstrated to us that they were very serious about their proposal and would stay committed and live up to everything that's in the proposal. And we look forward to working with them on that. Lieutenant Governor sat in with us on many of the meetings and shared his visions and desires to see that delivery of healthcare system improve for Maui. You know, we have 200,000 people on Maui any given day, a population of about 160,000, and maybe about 40,000 visitors on any given day. We have one hospital on Maui, one acute care hospital, and the Kula Hospital. So it was very important in selecting this partner that we had trust and faith in someone who could step up and provide that comprehensive healthcare delivery system that was so important to all of us. It took a lot of work to get to this point today, and the state team, all of the Doug Chen, Doug Murdoch, Wes Machida, Nish, everyone who worked with us gave us an opportunity for a voice in that process, and we appreciate that. I also wanted to acknowledge the work that our management team has done at the hospital. Wes, of course, Wes Lowe has been our CEO for 12 years and has driven a lot of what we've accomplished and got to today. We also have Rochelle Kawasaki and Tracy Ng with us, who were very much a part of the team all through the process, along with Julia Quasi, who was our investment banker through PwC and has national experience in mergers and acquisitions. I guess the point is, it took more than those identified people by all of the speakers to get to this point. It was really driven by our community. Our community on Maui and Lanai got behind this. They contacted their legislators. They stepped up. They said, we want to see a better opportunity for us in the future as we go forward with healthcare delivery. And it was that single thing, I think, that drove the Maui Regional Board, all of the past members and the current members, to help get us to this point today. So it's really chicken skin to know that, you know, shortly we're going to be signing an agreement that's going to take us down that path. And it's going to be decades of comprehensive healthcare delivery that's predictable and sustainable and will make a difference for our community. At some point in the near future, I probably will be a user of those healthcare services. And I'm happy to know that Kaiser will be there with us as that partner. Thank you.
Our final speaker here this afternoon is Linda Rosen, Chief Executive Officer of Hawaii Health Systems Corporation.
Thank you, Governor. Aloha mai kako. It's truly a privilege to be here with all of you today on this historic event in the healthcare history of our state and perhaps in the history of our state in general. HHSC is proud for the care that's been delivered in Maui County by the Maui region, but we recognize that to continue to operate a government-operated model is limited for the community. And healthcare today is very complex, regulated, and rapidly changing. And there's constant pressure from payers to deliver higher quality care at a lower cost. Development of health information technology, physician networks, quality improvement programs, revenue cycle enhancements, these are essential for the successful operation of hospitals. We try our best at HHSC, but we are really challenged to keep pace with the private hospitals. Those private hospitals have invested substantially in the areas that I mentioned, and I feel that allowing private hospitals to assume more of the responsibility of health care across the state has the potential to increase the services that are available while also reducing the burden on taxpayers. It is a logical and positive evolution for neighbor island healthcare as our communities move beyond a safety net concept to access a greater array of services closer to home. The signing of this agreement is the culmination of many years of effort by many individuals who were inspired by a vision of healthcare for their community. I applaud those efforts, and I feel very honored to have been just a small part of it. As a physician who has worked in healthcare across the state for over 30 years, I am confident that this change will stabilize and and cause growth in healthcare jobs for our employees and bring a higher level of services to the residents and visitors of Maui and Hawaii. I truly look forward to facilitating a successful and smooth transition into the future. Mahalo.
So we'll be signing the transfer agreements, and then any of the speakers would be available to take questions from the media.
I told Governor no WRs.
No, IBNCs.
Yeah.
I did. Just like the judiciary chair.
This one doesn't have a signature. Facilitator. It looks nice.
Okay. Protocol, right?
Just your signature.
Marianne gets to sign twice.
I need to sign twice. It's not taking so long. I guess we'll fill in the rest
Yeah.
afterwards, right? Yeah. Oh, this is fun after that.
No introduction. You please. I want to go last.
Check the signature.
Yeah. Authenticate the signatures.
Being a physician, I know how to sign my name fast.
You can't read it, right?
She is definitely fast. Okay, this is for the Maui residents and the Lanai residents and the community at large. And a very transformational moment.
Well, I mean, if you get the picture.
Oh. Done deal.
We're gonna take media questions now.
Lose my document.
Governor, I attended all of the hearings for Act 103, and there were a lot of people there representing the unions for the employees.
Yes.
Any statement on what's going to happen today?
Well, we have been working with them and meeting with them. They have expressed their concern, and all of us share the same concern about the transition and about ensuring that each and every employee has a seamless and smooth transition as we move in this new direction.
So does that include the employee retirement system or not?
On the transfer date, which is July 1st, all employees would cease to be state employees and they would become employees of the Maui health system.
Barrett, hi, how are you? I wanted to ask, what kind of changes will patients start to see, who visit the hospital on a regular basis, and when will those changes start to take place?
During this next phase of the transition up until when we close on June 30th, we will get in and work with Weslow and the team in terms of what are the top priorities that need to be changed. And we'll be working with the physician groups, both Jeff Sewell here is the president of the medical group for Kaiser Permanente. And so we'll be working with the community physicians. We'll start looking at providing 24-hour call for coverage for the different services as physician and recruiting physicians as we go forward. And then closely working with all of the staff to understand what the top priorities are. IT system support from a health record, from administrative systems, time card, business services, that will be the work over the next 6 months to make sure we have those in place, supporting the people providing care.
And just to be clear, everybody, it's a community hospital, so regardless if you have Kaiser or any type of insurance, you'll be able to go to this hospital.
That's correct. In fact, now there are Permanente physicians working at that hospital, and whatever patient comes in that needs care, that care is provided, no matter what their insurance type could be provided by a Permanente physician at this time.
Does this deal represent a new model for Kaiser, or is this, model used somewhere else in the country?
I would say for Kaiser Permanente, we've taken over community hospitals in the past. I think the difference here is that these are the only hospitals on an island. And so it is absolutely critical that these hospitals remain community hospitals, take all payer type, open to all physicians. And so that's our commitment to maintain that over the agreement.
Can you be specific as to what services you'll be increasing or how you'll be improving care in Maui?
Well, we'll be working, we're looking at what the services that are there now, and then there's an out migration from the islands now. And so carefully looking at what those services are, how staffing needs to be provided by by physicians to support having additional services in the hospital. And I would say we've talked about orthopedics, looking closely at some of the surgical services that are there. But again, we've got to make that assessment and work with the people of the community and the staff and physicians in the community.
How much does Kaiser expect to financially invest in new infrastructure?
In terms of facilities,
whether it's a new IT system, any other upgrades that you folks might do?
we're currently looking at the IT systems of at minimally a $20 million investment over a 5-year period of time. We've looked at dedicating capital for facilities, nearing with some of the state money that is there. The state has a huge investment of facility projects that are ongoing now. I'm probably not the best person to talk about that. Those will continue. And then as we look at what the priorities are, working with the local community Maui board, we'll look at what the priorities are to make the investment in facilities in each of the 3 hospitals.
Do you have a total investment cost, total projected investment?
I think it depends on the assessment. We made a commitment in terms of our financial proposal, and then if there's additional investment that needs to be made that's critical for the operations of the hospitals, we will work with the Maui board to consider the top priorities.
Will the agreement you folks just signed be made public at any point?
I understand that it is, yes.
It will be made public. Yeah. Yes, the transfer agreement will be made public as well as the entire Kaiser proposal. So everyone would be able to see what the proposal included, less the very minimum redacting of confidential information.
Can you speak specifically as to why the selection of Kaiser over Hawaii Pacific Health?
That was, and I just want to be clear about two things before I hand it over to Avery. The selection was made purely by the Maui Regional Board. The administrative team was not involved at all. Up until that point, the decision of who would best provide services was a Maui region decision. The two other things I just wanted to emphasize again. The Maui Health Systems, the new entity that will be running the Maui facilities, will retain all funds in the Maui system. There will be no funds that will leave. And the second thing I think that is most important is the 9-member board, 5 members will be Maui residents. And so it was very important that it be a community hospital, that the community have a strong voice in the management and decisions made of the new Maui health system.
Thank you, Governor. With the passage of Act 103 and the opportunity to look to a new partner in this healthcare delivery system, the regional board looked very closely at both proposals, the HPH and the Kaiser proposal. And in the end, as I initially said, we felt that the Kaiser proposal contained certain commitments to filling service lines and subspecialty lines that maybe the other proposal had not fully addressed. In addition to that, and to answer one of the questions about what services are we looking for, the board was interested in things like expansion of orthopedics, some surgery improvements, some additions of adolescent behavioral health and psychology service lines. So there were quite a few things in that proposal that moved us in that direction. One of the things that was really important to us was the reduction and the lessening of the dependency on the state subsidy over time. And this proposal contained a financial plan that accomplished that. Probably the primary reason that the board selected Kaiser was for the governance. This is a 30-year commitment, and we were very concerned about how the Maui community would have a say as we go beyond year 2, 3, 4, 5, and into those later years of the agreement. As I understand it, this is the first time that Kaiser has offered a governance model that is created and developed like this, in a sense that we don't become an affiliate where all of the money goes to another Kaiser corporation parent. The money stays in that Maui Health Systems board, and the decisions stay in that health systems board. So the governance was very, very important to us, and the model that they had proposed, I think, was one of the more attractive things in the proposal.
Can you give us a general figure, even though it's not official yet?
Figure in what context?
How much the deal's worth?
I think I can just, let me just say this from the state's perspective. The proposal from Kaiser saves the state if you assume just the current subsidy levels and just flat. So we take away the trending of the significant increase over the last 5 years. So if you just assume that the state's investment and subsidy in the Maui region just stayed the same, the Maui proposal saves the state more than $100 million in operating costs from the subsidy perspective. You know, there's commitment for joint investment in facilities that are needed. There will be an ongoing to make sure it's a 50-50 match in terms of capital improvement funds that are made available to the Maui, Kula, and Lanai facilities. And so we do intend to work together to identify those investments as needed.
I have a question for President Barnes. President Barnes, you know, obviously this agreement was made before the HCNS announcement of 675 employees eventually losing their jobs. Your reaction to that announcement?
Well, anytime that employees are at risk of losing their job, I think is very, very difficult, and it's certainly not anything any of us want to see, and particularly with the long history that has been there for those employees. I think that, as I understand from both the governor and the people of Maui, looking at what the transitions can be there. I don't have specifics on that, but how we can come together within the community to really support those employees and see if there's opportunities in other areas to keep people employed on that.
How much will Kaiser be asking then, in the next session in terms of state funding?
We can provide those numbers specifically. We are in the process of due diligence and we'll be negotiating the terms of the lease explicitly. The legislation that was passed set a cap at the subsidy of the amount of funds provided to the Maui Memorial Hospital at the 2014 level. And I believe that that subsidy was $38 million. And the Kaiser proposal or Maui Health Systems will be requesting $33.4 million in that first year.
And that will go down in subsequent years.
Yes.
2-0.
To zero.
Important. Important number.
Most importantly, Kaiser believes that they will be able to increase services, which is really what attracted the Maui Regional Board. It was very clear that they are committed to providing more services to the members of the Maui communities and Lanai as well.
When do you plan to conclude, I guess, the talks with the union on the transfer as they go from government employees to private employees?
So just to put it in context, so this transfer agreement was very important because it enables the next step, which is the new company will negotiate with the unions to arrive at a collective bargaining agreement. More importantly, it provides the opportunity to distribute information so that current employees can understand what their option and what the contract would look like in the Maui health systems going forward. And then we have committed to work with Kaiser and Maui Health Systems and the public employee unions to look at those employees that are right on the edge of vesting and look at ways that we can mitigate. Most importantly, everyone involved is committed to, on that closing date of June 30th, when the state of Hawaii ceases to operate and manage, and July 1st, when Maui Health Systems begins to operate, that no employee would be adversely impacted.
How many employees are we talking about then?
Between the three hospitals, there's roughly 1,151 employees.
Any other questions?
What island's next? I mean, what county is next?
Let me just say that you didn't see the double take by the admin team for sure. We are focused on completing this transaction successfully. There's much work to be done between now and June 30th, and we are focused on being successful on this transaction.
Last question is, going back to the value of the deal, can you give us a specific number?
I think I would just like to respond to your question this way. Quality healthcare delivered to the people of Maui is priceless. I do believe that this transaction is a fundamental change in how we are committed to providing quality healthcare for the people of Maui. I think that we will see, and Kaiser is definitely seized an opportunity here. We all who are part of this transaction truly believe that the best and most benefit will be derived by the people of Maui getting better health care on a going forward basis.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Reporters, I have your news release.
Thanks, Joe.